What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today, we're back at Insurance Auto Auctions here in Oklahoma City for another walk around. Let's jump into this video today and see what we find. And immediately, something that I've been wanting for a long time. I don't know if this is going to be the one though, guys. 2014 Fiat 500. This is the Abarth. This is a cool little car, and I first saw one of these on Watch JR Go's channel, and I knew immediately someday I was going to have one. Now, this one is wrecked over here. I'll show you the damage here in a minute. It honestly doesn't look that bad. The car looks like it's had a rough life, and that's the reason I may not be interested in this one, although this one will probably go pretty cheap. So here's the damage, and again, this doesn't look like it's that big of a deal. You've got a radiator that's busted right here. You have brackets that hold the radiator in. Thankfully, these brackets are still intact, guys. You can reuse these. You're going to need that radiator. You're going to need this coolant bottle right here. The suspension is damaged. You can clearly see this wheel has been pushed back into the fender. So there's going to be some control arm damage or something down there. Maybe even some damage to the wheel itself. It may be bent. Obviously a fender, obviously a bumper. Headlight bracket's probably broken. The hood's got a little damage. I wouldn't replace the hood. And if I could help it, I wouldn't replace the headlight if it's fixable. Honestly, the damage doesn't look that bad. The door, it's got a little bit of damage. I don't think the door's worth replacing either. It's got good tires. I love the Scorpion on the wheels here, guys. Really cool. Same thing on the front badge. And on the badges over here on the back. I just think it's a cool little car. Very unique. Window tint is bubbling and peeling off. This thing's probably got miles on it, guys. I'm gonna, ooh. Wow, yeah. I think it's a smoker's car. It's this one's pretty rough. Oh wow, this smells real bad. You can clearly see all the sticky residue, ashes and stuff. There's ashes all over the shifter. I do like the car though, but boy, this needs a serious. Uh-oh. I hope that hood opens. This needs a serious ozoning. This car smells awful. I'm definitely curious as to what the miles are going to be on this. I'm sure it's well over 100,000. Ah, the hood is open. Good deal. All right, well, she's dirty. She is, wow, really dirty. Cold air intake. I'm assuming this is an aftermarket cold air intake. Straight into the turbo. Other than being dirty, it actually looks pretty decent, guys. Let me see if I can figure out how to hold this hood up here with the hood prop. We'll get a jump pack out and see if we can figure out. There we go. See if we can figure out how to jump start this thing. And let's see if she runs. She's definitely got juice now. Everything seems to have come to life. The question is, will it run? Let's turn that on cold. Let's turn that down. Let's turn this off. Radio works, that's for sure. Check daytime running lights. I think that's the least of your problems. Oh, that's no compression. Uh-oh. Nah. Well, that's a shame. I wasn't entirely interested in this one, guys. What is the mileage? I knew it was over 100. 120, 412 is the miles. She's got no compression, guys. So, I mean, I've got a theory as to what might have happened with this car, and that is, obviously, either this is coolant, or you know what I'll bet this is? I could be wrong. This could either be a radiator for coolant, or this could be an intercooler sitting over here. See, back in the day, they had the intercoolers up top, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have the intercooler sitting over here. It's got coolant. Yeah, that's not coolant. That's an intercooler. Yeah, she's not going to be happy without having her intercooler. With that said, you could clearly hear from the way this thing was cranking, it sounded like a no compression issue to me, guys. Cranking way too fast, sounded like it was uneven. So this is one that, even though I was kind of interested in it, I'm gonna have to walk away from. Well, you guys know I'm a sucker for these Land Rovers and Range Rovers, and I saw this one, I thought, man, it's kind of older, but it's got some miles on it. Actually, it really doesn't. It says it's a non-runner, 2015 Range Rover, and this is the Evoque, or Invoke, or I can't remember what it is. It says it's a non-runner with 79,000 miles on the odometer. Really? This is actually really nice. So unless it's a... Oh no. Well, that should tell you something. There's the air intake. That looks like a timing chain cover. Exhaust manifold shield. We have the catalytic converter on the other side. Yeah, the under tray. It's like it's torn apart, is what it is. The Invoque. Well, how bad could it be? Maybe it was a flood. This is interesting. It's got power. She's got power. All right, let's pop the hood, see what's going on, and I mean, we might be able to give her a crank. No. Oh. Well, yeah, no, we're not cranking this one. Wow. This is probably the same engine that was in the one that Hoovy's Garage had, the convertible version of this. And I think he had head gasket problems as well, and they ended up having to replace the whole motor. So somebody took it apart, and they left the battery connected with... Oh, this is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. You should never have the battery connected with all of this taken apart. So it doesn't look like a particularly complicated engine, but I remember seeing the Wizard saying that on things like this, you can change the head gaskets, even mill the heads, and a lot of times you're still going to end up having problems out of them later, so it's best just to replace the engine. And these engines are not the easiest to find, and they cost a lot of money. So yeah, that cylinder head is literally just thrown, just tossed back here behind the engine. Pistons look good though. I mean, everything in here looks good. You can clearly see that a couple of them were cleaner than the other two. These are pretty dirty. These are pretty clean. So the head gasket would have been blown probably between these two cylinders. You had coolant leaking in here. It could totally be fixed. So this is not a very complicated engine to work on. The only question is what parts are missing. And since I'm not the one that took it apart, I don't have the experience to put it right back together. Needless to say, we're not going to be cranking this one, guys. This is one that, unfortunately, it could be a fun project, but after watching The Wizard and hearing the horror stories behind him and Hoovy's Garage with replacing the motor in these, I don't think I want one that somebody else already took apart. I'll tell you something, guys. I'm a sucker for these old 80s and 90s GM vehicles. Well, for that matter, any 80s and 90s American-made vehicles, and a few of the imports as well. The Dookie Skate... really. The Dookie Skate Shop. Yeah, it sounds like a place I'd be going to shop. That's... no. This one's wrecked, unfortunately. It's a good old Sabre. Took a hit all down the passenger side. It's in pretty rough shape, guys. The bumper, fender, both doors, the paint was already coming off of it anyway. It needs so much, guys, so much. The mileage on it is relatively low though. Check this out, 96,843 miles, or is that 968,000 miles? Hold on. The car honestly looks like it's got about 968,000 miles, truthfully. It's probably got the 10th digit on there, and they probably just accidentally wrote that down. Oh yeah, 96,843.9 miles. Smoker's car, for sure. Still got the original stereo system in this. These are so nice. This should be the Dynaride, right? LeSabre Limited, you got the digital climate controls. Man, the auto reverse cassette player. Let's see if it fires up. I'm just curious. It's gonna have the good old 3800 under the hood. And these are just solid motors, man. They'll run forever. Oh, she started and then she died. There it is. There it is. Of course it runs. Wouldn't surprise me if the air conditioning comes to life too. It's on. Yep, there it is. There it is, cold air. I knew it. Important window work? Yeah. Less important window also works. We got good oil pressure, just under half a tank of gas. Voltage is good. It's idled a little high. There she goes, she's idling down. We've got a brake light and an anti-lock brake light on. If we release the parking brake though, there we go, only the ABS light is on. Steering? Power steering is whining, but it works. Brakes are good. Reverse. Drive. And cold air conditioning. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that AC off. Wow, man. It's a shame she's wrecked so bad. If it was just in rough shape, I would probably go ahead and bid on this, and I'd buy it because nobody wants these. I have a strange love for these old cars that nobody wants anymore. There you go. That old school 3800. You want to talk about a car that you could work on, guys, back in the day? This is it. This is it. Take a look at how much room you have under the hood of this car. Very basic, simple to work on. You know, it's just not complicated. You can change your spark plugs. You pull off the intake, the heads if you need to. Everything under here is easily accessible. And it looks like somebody converted it to R134 because this is a 95. Actually, they had R134 was in 94, if I remember right. They converted to R134 in 1994. It's got a nice, looks like a gator back belt. Replacement alternator. One of the coils have been replaced. Somebody took care of it. It's a shame that the whole side is smashed on, and the front. And the paint is all gone too. So, yeah. Oh well, let's move on to something else. All right, I'm kind of a sucker for the early 2000s Cadillacs as well. Man, this is a salvage car. We're gonna have to figure out why, because it actually looks pretty good from this side anyway. It's got the gold package as well. It's got the cloth top. It says it's a run and drive with 161,000 miles. Of course, it's a North Star. But yeah, it's got the gold package. You got gold everywhere, and this fake kind of imitation convertible top. Flat tire. The top is, it's a, oh, yeah, I see, I didn't see it. I knew there was going to be something. Somebody tapped it in the quarter there. Now, you could probably pop a lot of this out. It wouldn't be perfect, but I mean, you could definitely pop a lot of this out and make it look a whole lot better. It's really not that bad. High mileage, though, and a North Star. Interior doesn't look too bad. But again, it's a North Star. It's got a little bit of a funky odor going on there. Let's take a look inside and see what's going on with it. Maybe it'll fire up. I don't think I'm going to waste my jump pack on this. Unfortunately, when it comes to cars like these, you can't hardly sell them. Wow, the driver's seat is all the way back. I mean, literally in the back seat. I just don't see how you can lay down and drive. I don't get that. To each their own, though. You know, whatever. Not my car, not my business. But I just don't see how you can be laying down. Take a look. Like, here I am laying down, and here's my vantage point from my face. All right, you're right in front of me. So, yeah, wouldn't you want to see things in front of you like more like this? Like kids, you know, pedestrians. When you're back here like this, where I am, it's very hard to see animals, dogs. Yeah. Oh, she's did his door now. Oh, yeah. Smoker's car. That's what that funky smell is in here. It is kind of, ugh. Doesn't smell very good. Let's pop the hood. It's otherwise a pretty nice car, though. I mean, you throw a tire on the back, pop out the dent as best you can, assuming it runs like it's supposed to. And it probably does. The engine is surprisingly clean under the hood here. How many miles is on this? 161,000. It's actually very clean under here. It looks like somebody took pride in this thing. It's got a Napa Micro V belt on it. Let's see, GM Dealer code, blah, blah, blah. This vehicle is equipped with onboard highly sophisticated computer system. Special training and tools are required to service. Many components are covered by a 4-year, 50,000-mile factory warranty. Okay, Bob Moore Cadillac. I'm going to say this, guys, although I do like the car, this is not something I'd be buying to keep. I would buy it, play with it for a little while, and then I'd end up selling it. And again, the problem with these Cadillacs is even if they're running right, people are just terrified of a North Star engine. So before we go any further, I thought I get questions all the time about what are all these vehicles doing under these red bags? And it's a valid question, and I've answered it, I don't know, 11 times by now. But people still want to know why all these cars and trucks and other things are underneath these red bags. Well, these are off limits. That should go without saying, right? If you came out here, I don't think you would be pulling the bags off and, you know, checking out what's underneath these car covers here, because obviously they don't want you messing around with any of this. So I am not going to be pulling these back and showing you. I'm just walking through, and these are all off limits, and they have different reasons for being off limits. Sometimes after accidents, these cars get brought here and they're basically just stored until insurance companies can come out and take a closer look. Sometimes they need to get access to the black box that tells you, you know, how fast they were going before the impact, were the brakes applied. There's a lot of information stored in the black boxes of these cars before and as you have an accident. So insurance companies, also law enforcement, will use that information to try to figure out who's at fault, what happened in a given accident. So there could also be evidence inside these cars. Believe it or not all cars get taken to a police department and held at the local police station for inspections for forensic evidence. Sometimes they do have these things transported to the auction here, where they are then covered in these bags. They usually have hold put on these. These are not for sale. These are not to be touched by anybody under any circumstances, and they stay under these bags so that police or insurance or whoever else may be interested can come out here and access whatever needs to be accessed. Once they have been cleared by the appropriate agency or agencies, then the bags can be removed and the cars can be sold. So hopefully that helps you understand why there are so many cars out here sitting underneath plastic bags. Now, I'm not sure if this car back here is the Scat Pack that we saw before. I think it is. Yeah, it is. You guys had a lot to say about this car. I'm very interested in it. It's got hail damage. It's a flood car. Like literally half the car was underwater. We already showed it, so I'm not going to spend much time on this, but they were asking $20,000 for this car. It's a 2022 Scat Pack. And I mean, literally, it's like half the car has been underwater. Everything is flooded, nothing works, although it says it's a run and drive. Nothing works on this, guys. The engine was literally underwater as well. So while I'm interested in it just to see if we could bring it back to life, which we probably can't, I'm not willing to pay 20 grand for it. So they dropped the price, because obviously nobody is paying $20,000 for a car that was half underwater. Well, they dropped the price, guys, and they now are asking $18,000 for this car. Not even close, man. As far as I'm concerned, it's the car's junk. What do you have that's salvageable? I mean, everything was underwater, including the seats, and that's a problem because the seats have electronics in them, airbags, ventilated seats, all that stuff. Most of the stuff in this car is no good. Engine, transmission, rear differential. You're looking at best, the wheels and tires, maybe the brakes, freshwater flood, hail damage all over the hood and the front fenders. So, you know, maybe you got a couple of doors, and maybe the taillights, maybe the headlights, possibly exhaust, but who wants stock exhaust, right? That doesn't make any sense. I really don't think there's much in this car that's even worth trying to salvage to resale. As far as I'm concerned, this is more scrap than anything for me. So $18,000, there's no way, man. I could never come anywhere near that for this car. Now here's one that's not so bad, guys. 2013 BMW 328, 100,000 miles on the odometer. It's listed as a run and drive. And it's a salvage car. I'm not really sure why. Maybe there's some suspension damage going on back here. It looks like it's sitting a little low in the back on this corner. Convertible, of course, hardtop convertible. See how high this side's sitting? You can clearly see that something on the other side is going on here. It doesn't even bounce. Like, nah, there's something going on here. If you hit the, we'll see. Let's take a look at the interior. Automatic. It's got that kind of cream color interior. Really nice. The body and interior actually look really good on this car. Does it run? It's a BMW. Of course it doesn't run, guys. Yeah. All right. That's fine. Well, let's pop the hood. This one's obviously going to need a jump start. I don't mind one bit. I'm definitely curious as to what's going on that rear corner. It could be that it's just sitting on, maybe it's sitting on a hill or something, you know? How do things look under here? Actually pretty good. 9 times out of 10, this oil cooler / oil filter housing here is leaking. And surprisingly, I don't see any leaks coming off of it at all. This thing looks pretty good, guys. I mean, it's a 328, so small BMW, and small engine, but it's still a decent looking car. Looks like it's got some damage up here. Some clips on this headlight are broken. Now, the good thing is, all the pieces are still here, so you could literally weld this back together. You'd be fine. Whatever's going on with this car, the damage does not look that bad, guys. Let's throw a jump on it and see if it runs. Let's see what it does, guys. I think it's gonna run. My biggest concern, though, is why is that corner sitting down like that, man? Something, and it doesn't look like it's sitting on some kind of an uneven surface either. There's something going on back there. It could be, well, yeah, let's not speculate. Who knows what it actually is? Fired right up. Low tire, all 4 corners. Low coolant. Low washer fluid. I'll bet this car ran over something. We don't have any bags deployed, though. Oh, it's smoking from under the hood. Probably some oil coming off of the valve cover onto the exhaust manifold. That's very common. Air conditioning is already on. Actually, it's smoking considerably. Hold on. Oh, there's a lot of smoke. That's probably just oil. Let's smell it. Yeah, that's oil. Yep, valve cover is leaking all over the exhaust. I had to check though, guys. it's better safe than sorry. That'll burn off pretty quick, I imagine. Okay, let's see. E-brake is off. We have a service engine soon light that greets us immediately, along with all the other lights. Adaptive headlights, TP. Yeah, it's upset. Air conditioning. I think it works. 100,992 miles. Window indexed like it's supposed to. It goes up and down. That one as well. Let's see if it goes into gear. It does. Backward. Yep. And forward. And backward again. I'm doing this for a reason, guys. I'm going to see if that back end straightens up. Let's move it forward and park. Air conditioning does work. That's a positive. Glove box is locked, I suppose. Strange little cup holders here, but they work. Convertible top, I'm not going to attempt it. I would hate for the top to get stuck down. Honestly, guys, it actually sounds pretty good. It's running decent. Let's go and check that. Let's check that back tire again and see if anything's changed now that it's been moved. No, I'm telling you, this side is sitting way lower than the other side. Yeah, way lower. Man, who knows what could be going on back here? Can we pop the trunk? No. I mean, overall though, guys, it's not a bad looking car. You just got to figure out what's going on over here. Air up the tires. I think the tire will hold air. Oh boy, she is really smoking. Wow. Alternator is charging. I'm going to shut this off. I think I'm going to shut the car off for that matter. I mean, I thought that the smoke would go away by now. That valve cover gasket must be really, really bad. Yeah, let's shut her down. Overall though, guys, I mean, it's not too bad. What do you think? For a cheap bid, I'd jump on this. Looks like the oil was last changed 8/28 of 2022. So that's been a couple years ago, guys. That engine is still smoking too. She's got a pretty massive valve cover gasket leak. It's not too bad to do on these. I've done them before. You got to take all this crap off so you can get over here to it. But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And typically, what I do on these is I replace the entire valve cover. They're notorious for cracking, and the oil just leaks out. So putting a new gasket on, and the gaskets for these are not cheap. It's not a particularly easy job to do either. You're better off just going to FCP Euro, ordering the whole valve cover. I think it's like $150, $180, and then you're one and done. You don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna keep this on the watch list. This is one I am interested in. Now, you guys know that I'm a big fan of flood cars. I really enjoy the risk in these. This one is definitely flood. I knew before I even saw it. It says flood on the windshield. Interesting though, it says 161,000, or no, 16,000. That's my bad. 169 miles. 2023 GMC Acadia non-runner. Interesting. Well, being that this is in Oklahoma, it's probably a freshwater flood. You'll see what they like to do is they tape them up here and they leave the sides cracked to help ventilate that nasty smell from a flood. This thing actually looks really good, guys. It's got nice matching tires. I wonder how, oh, we got mold. Yeah, we got, so the water, ooh. The water got above here. You can clearly see there's mud inside the door. So, I mean, we had water. Oh, wow. Well, we had water really high, guys. That doesn't open. Yeah, we had, this one may be toast. Let's pop the hood, check the oil level, if it's even got a dipstick. Some of these do, some of them don't. Come on, where is it? There it is. V6, what is it, 3.6 liter? Oh boy, it looks like the water got above the transmission too. Looks like they've disconnected the transmission linkage right here. I don't see anything there anymore. There is a cover, maybe a dipstick, or it's a fill hole. It's just a fill hole. Can't really see anything in there. I was hoping that it had a dipstick, but it doesn't. So, boy, we got questions. How deep was this submerged? Let's check the oil. Oil is clean. From what I can tell, it doesn't look overfilled, so maybe water did not get into the engine. Yeah, wishful thinking, right? Wishful thinking. Battery's disconnected. Does this even have a key? Does it even have any juice in it? They've disconnected. I think this is a pyro fuse right here. And without this, the vehicle won't do anything. Let's put this back on. Let's just see if it'll do anything. That's the ground. Positive is still attached. See, what I'm seeing down here is I'm seeing dirt like on top of the exhaust manifold. So I mean, I'm thinking the water must have been pretty deep on this, guys. Fuse block is clean though, so that's good. It would be nice if I could see an actual water line, and a lot of times you can. A lot of times you'll see debris, a nice solid line, but on this one, I just don't see it. I don't see it in here. I don't see it anywhere. It doesn't look like it got above anything up here that I can tell. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna throw a jump. It's got both keys. You never know. It's probably had months to sit out here and dry, guys. This thing might actually run. Well, I got the jump pack connected and I don't hear anything. So, oh, we do. We have things lighting up. Uh-oh. Seats, not doing anything. Sometimes these will come back with a little back and forth action. Nope. Nope. Boy, this is gonna be fun. Oh, Wow, yeah. 16,169 miles. Oh, she does nothing. Nope. I'm assuming the key fobs probably won't do anything either. They could be dead. Sometimes these sit for a long time. That one doesn't do anything. That one doesn't do anything. Nothing is coming to life other than the mileage. No radio. Wait. We got a screen there. Radio came on. It turns up. What about the climate control? No. Yeah, you're going to have some serious electronics issues with this one, guys. That's for sure. Obviously, the water, it doesn't turn off either. It's like the start-stop button doesn't even, it's stuck on. Yeah, well, you know what? Does the windshield wipers work or anything? Let's try them. No. Well, it wouldn't hurt to go through fuses and stuff and see, you know, maybe a few of them got blown. She's definitely got power going to her, and a few things came back to life, but obviously made no attempt to start at all. This is one that I wouldn't be willing to spend much on, guys. It's probably worth more in parts, honestly, than it is to me to buy it and try to fix it. Something that's been flood damaged like this, you've got all kinds of electronic issues, you don't know. It could be something simple like replacing a control module, or it could be something like a fusible link somewhere, or a maxi fuse. There's so many things it could be that's simple. There's also so many things it can be that are really complicated. Like, even if you get the electronics working, you might have a locked up motor. But if the motor runs, you might have a totally screwed transmission. I don't know how well you can see down here. Let me see if I can get you down there. But right here, that shaft in the middle of your screen, that's supposed to have linkage for the transmission attached to it, I think. I'm fairly certain somewhere down here is supposed to be shift cables. And I don't see them, unless it's all just electronic. Maybe that's just a manual override. You guys comment below and tell me. I don't know. It's 2023. Definitely a lot newer than I'm used to working on. But I'm going to put this on my list just because I think it'd be a fun challenge, and I really enjoy flood cars. You never know what you're going to get. Hell, you never know. We might be able to get the dang thing running, clean it up, and have a practically brand new GMC Acadia for next to nothing. Or it may be a total piece of junk. Well, we're going to walk around and see if we can find anything else. If not, we're going to go ahead and close out this video. Unfortunately, that Acadia over there has a junk title, which makes it even less desirable. Really, the only thing it's good for now is parts, but I would still like to try to get it running and see if we could get it moving. But honestly, with a junk title, I don't know. We'll see. I've got it on the watch list. It's at $25 right now. So, I mean, if it goes stupid cheap, and it won't, because body parts, interior parts are going to be worth a fortune on that. That's probably going to end up going to a parts breaker. There's a lot of money in that thing if you tear it apart and sell the pieces individually. And that's not really what I'm looking to do, guys. Parts breaking is not easy. Tearing apart cars really isn't that difficult, but it's storing all of the pieces, keeping everything organized, putting everything up for sale, shipping, dealing with customers. That's where it starts getting to be just a real pain, and it's not something I'm interested in. I am far more interested in trying to bring broken cars back to life than parting out cars and trying to sell them for a profit. This is a 2020 Kia Kona. Hyundai Kona, sorry. Oh, of course. I had a feeling. Look at this old Lexus. Oh man, LS what, 430? That's a shame. Guys, I think we're done with this video. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed the content, hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Till next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.